Okay, everyone, welcome. Um, it's good to see everyone. Um, and if you, excuse me, if you're new, please go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat while I adjust my screen a little bit. I don't know what's happening. All right. Let's see. All right, what I'll have to do. Okay. Um, so again, hello everyone. If you're new, again, introduce yourself as well. Where you're living, coming from, so forth. Okay, it's good to see so many people from all over as well. I do want to adjust my camera a little bit, so just bear with me. Bear with. I'll just adjust this. Okay. Oops. Nope. One more time. All right. That's better. Okay. That's a lot better for me. Awesome. Yes. Welcome back, Tiffany. So yeah, also, if you would like to just post in the chat how you're doing, like a check-in. If there's a check-in or something, please let me know. And in the meantime, I'm gonna light this candle for the session. As I was, saying last week, I think that like candle practice and working with light is one of the most important practices this time of year because so many of our festivals and observances are around the light, the celebration of light, but also the leaving of the light and then the return of the light after the solstice. So candle work is really nice to do. And also, there's a lunar eclipse tomorrow, so which I think is going to make for an overwhelming day for I think the eclipse is supposed to be kind of restorative. But regardless, tomorrow is the midterms in the States. So I think this is going to be a really hard time tomorrow. So, just take care of yourself tomorrow. Set boundaries, do whatever you need to do as well. So anyway, what's happening? Oh yeah, the prayer doc. Go ahead and start adding your prayers. Okay. Let's see. I seem to have bounced back. Okay. Right. I think the eclipse is meant to invite us to let go of something. So if that's helpful. I don't follow astrology too closely. That's not one of my strongest areas of practice, but I stay in touch, you know. Um, let's see. So as I was getting ready to sign on tonight, I just got this download, this teaching, um, around spiritual warfare. I've been talking a lot about spiritual warfare, and next year I'm going to be focusing a lot on spiritual warfare as well in some of my public work. Um, but I guess it was last week, the week before, which was the Wali. We did a practice of choosing the light. And that's really important because if we're not consciously choosing the light, then we find ourselves actually tuning into the darkness in the ways that we're not even conscious of, right? And that, in a way, is much of the reason we struggle so much in terms of like trying to create the world that we want to see, a world that kind of reflects love, compassion, and so forth, because many of us aren't 100% on the side of light, and when we are overwhelmed by despair or hopelessness, anger, rage, that tends to feed into the darkness of things. And there are beings who definitely feed off of that kind of depletive or depleting energy from us. So we begin to radiate. When we're overwhelmed, when we're consumed by despair, hopelessness, we're radiating this energy, and it's drawing darker energy around us, right? That begin to, in many ways, feed off of that energy. And the practice is learning how to hold the experiences of despair and hopelessness, not be overwhelmed by it, but to notice it and not react, and allow yourself to experience these energies with the support of the earth, the beings from your homecoming circle, and so forth, right? And you have to kind of throw out a lifeline when you find yourself overwhelmed. I know some of us are overwhelmed by the elections coming up tomorrow. Like when you feel overwhelmed, so you feel overwhelmed when you, like, what is the feeling of being overwhelmed? It's like you feel like you have no agency, right? Where you feel you just can't come out of the experience. Also, you feel like you don't know how to experience, what's arising, or you feel like you feel the tension of constantly pushing it away. I think that those are signs. To hold the energy, to consume the chaos, as Majaya used to teach, is to open an experience, not react, but to hold, right? There's a lot of energy. It's like a whole big giant ocean of fear, and despair and hopelessness, and traumas, right? And you have to float it instead of drowning in it, which is my practice. Um, yeah, choosing the light, like always choosing the light, imagining the light arising in you, imagining that you're radiating. Like these are some of the energetic practices, right, that we can work with. This is what we've been doing, right, in our sessions, right, as well. Um, and what would it mean, right? What would it feel like to do something like feeding the darkness, in the same way we do in Chö practice, in the same way Lama Sutra and Malayan um, wrote about in feeding your demons, like conceptualize what you're afraid of into a being and feed it what it needs, right? To feed the darkness. It's really powerful. I mean, that's Chö, it's feeding what we're afraid of, feeding what feels ambiguous. You're feeding it attention and care, and it transforms, for us. So it ends up not being what we think it is, once we start paying attention to it, right? So, let's actually um, jump into practice. So, again, Google Doc, the prayers, and questions below to ask a question. And hopefully, I'll get to those later. Okay. All right. So, let's begin. So, beginning by allowing your body to come into a position that feels supportive, right? That feels restive or restful. And even just reflecting on your intention for practice in this session. Why are you practicing? It's always important to be clear about that. Why am I practicing? And when you're ready, imagine sending this intention off into the space, the emptiness of your mind. It's just like you're letting it go and watching it or feeling it dissolve into your mind. What does it feel like to just sit and be in this space after you've let go of that intention? And when you're ready, shifting your attention down to the seat, noticing the weight of your body, making contact with the seat, remembering your body, remembering that you are embodied, remembering that you are arising in the world of form, the material world, and the relative. That you and I and everyone in this space are relative beings. So the weight of our body reminds us of that. It reminds us that we're anchored to the seat. We're anchored to the earth. So just dwelling here for a few moments, right? So noticing the weight of the body, of your body, making contact with the seat, allowing the seat to hold you, to care for you. Right? Letting go of the thoughts of the past or the future, coming into the present moment and anchoring your attention just right in the weight of the body and the seat. This is almost as if you're collecting yourself, right? You're collecting how your energy and anchor, this is how anchors function. They help to collect and channel the energy of our awareness and attention, which is just energy. Our awareness and attention are just energies. It pulls it to a point. And that's one of the ways we train in, focusing the mind, but it's also a way in which we train our energy. We develop agency, over the energy of attention or awareness. So when it's focused and concentrated on anger like it is now, we're not sporadically, leaking all over, thinking about this and that, and getting lost in anxiety and worry and so forth. We're just coming to this anchor, back to this moment. And of course, this is the training, the primary training in protecting our energy, right? As I always teach, protect your energy. It means to focus, to learn to focus, to rest the energy of your awareness on something, to choose to rest your awareness on something. So again, we're just resting our attention on the sensation or the anchor of the body, making contact with the seat, feeling the weight of the body, noticing how the seat rises to hold us, and letting that take care of us, this sensation, this anchor, take care of you, take care of your attention, right? Let the seat offer some support for your body. Let your body surrender to the seat. Opening up the space through non-reactivity to hold the arising of both pleasure and pain, or discomfort, comfort and discomfort. What is that like? Is to allow comfort and discomfort to arise, and not to choose either one, but to just let each come and go as it will, and not to let comfort overwhelm you. Not to let ourselves get really tired or drowsy, but to even hold those energies of fatigue through non-reactivity. Just don't react, just experience. And everything is just energy. All we're doing is connecting to frequencies and waves of energies, both small and greater. Right? But when we talk about emptiness and space, this is how we get into it. This is how we begin to develop an experience of emptiness, when we begin to understand and experience. So understanding and experiencing phenomena like sensation or the body or the seat as frequencies of energy and waves of energy, as energy, particles. Now, as always, you always have the agency to decide on how deeply you want to go into practice. So if there's a part of the practice that doesn't really fit well with you, then don't do it. So just putting it out there as we continue to move deeper. But if you're working with the breath, like if you're with the breath in this, right now, turning your attention to the breath, noticing the in-breath and the out-breath, in and out. If you want, you can organize the breath a little more by breathing into the nose, out of the mouth, and slowing the breath down if you would like. So this is, just basic mindfulness, satipatthana right now. But it's still energy work, which sometimes gets overlooked in mindfulness. We're working with energy. We're shifting energy. We're moving energies around. We're connecting to energies. We're naming energies. Just keep going here, working with the breath. If you're not working with the breath, working with the anchor of the body in the seat. Right? Beginning to privilege experience over thinking. Right? The experience of phenomena rather than the analysis of the thinking, the conceptualization of phenomena. And sometimes for some of us, this can be the point where really the experience of insight begins to awaken. When we begin to develop this wisdom or experience of the nature of things, because it feels as if the phenomenal world, the material world begins to blur, right? So working with the breath, anchoring, with the seat, letting the mind itself. So the mind is always the mind, right? So our mind is always clear, present, expansive, boundless, right? But what begins to happen is that the energy of our awareness, right, actually begins to connect back to the state of the mind, right? So it's like the mind, um, it's hard to necessarily describe, but let's just say this is our mind. So my left hand is my mind. So the mind is always, you know, stable, whatever. Well, it is. It's if I stop moving it, it's stable. So it's stable. So this is the mind, and this is our awareness. And so our awareness is just kind of all over the place, right? And so when we're engaging in practice, when we begin to settle awareness and begin to channel awareness back to a certain point, what actually begins to happen is that our awareness begins to realign itself with the mind, right? And that's awakening, it's enlightenment, right? So it's very subtle, this realignment back with the mind. In Tibetan Buddhism, we say that it's our awareness is like the child in our mind, right? It's like the mother, and we're just trying to link back to the mother. But you can't do that until you're training to focus at our attention and our awareness. So it begins to vibrate back with the mind. And so what also begins to dissolve is our sense of ego and self, which is actually the fixation on ego and self. Like that keeps us balled up, right? And what we're trying to do is release awareness. So again, it begins to expand and come back into relationship with the mind itself. And again, this is the birthplace of the deity, of the wisdom deity or the celestial deity. In Tibetan Buddhism, this is where the deity awakens. Right? But then this slowly kind of coming back into the nature of the mind, into emptiness and space and fluidity and energy itself, into the suchness. Right? And if you're feeling frustrated or confused, just letting that go, offering that into the space of the mind and returning back to the anchoring through the body or with the breath. So just a few moments more here. The anchoring seems really important right now, so we're gonna hang with it just a little while longer before we continue into the practice. And when we're anchoring like this, where this is kind of like a collective practice, like we're becoming anchors for a lot of different beings around us right now, both living physical beings as well as unseen formless beings. Like when we stabilize like this, we offer something really important back to those around us. Stability, foundation. Of course, this is the expression of the earth as well. To be able to hold space like this for ourselves, for all beings and all phenomenal reality, really, is so incredibly helpful right now. When it seems like everyone is so unstable, so unrooted. And this is one way we become the light, right? In our communities and our families and so forth, the light In this case, meaning stability, foundation, groundedness. When you talk about holding space, you're actually not holding anything. Maybe you're holding reactivity or preventing reactivity. But when we say, oh, we're holding space, you're just allowing phenomena to arise. I'm not holding anything. Nothing's being held. It's not even being held in the mind. The mind, because whatever arises is an expression of the mind itself. Everything is mind. So the mind can't hold itself. So everything is your mind. The play of your mind, the arising of energy that we label as form and things. Just contemplating that everything is my mind, everything is energy. Even the deity is energy arising in a form that's actually trying to get me free, trying to get me to recognize that it is only an expression of energy. Everything is energy. And consciousness, thinking, thoughts, emotions, everything is just energy. So let's move on. Right, and we're going to begin to connect to the frequency of Medicine Buddha, and we'll see if we can get into the frequency of the Pure Land of Medicine Buddha. We'll see if we can do that tonight. So this is a strong foundation to start with. You're moving into like more intensive kind of work with energy. So we're going to move into chanting the introductory or the mantra evoking Medicine Buddha. Umela Sange Kino Soha. Medicine Buddha, please know me, think of me. And again, mantras helps us to attune to frequencies associated with different energetic realms, deities, and so forth. So we'll begin. We'll chant it a few times. Right. Om Mema Sange Kino Soha. Om La Sange Kino Soha. Om La Sange Kino Soha. Om La Sange Kino Soha. I invite you to imagine that the energy of Medicine Buddha, or a form of Medicine Buddha, begins to appear in your heart center. And whatever form Medicine Buddha takes for you is always appropriate. So it doesn't have to look like the traditional Medicine Buddha, which I have up on my wall here, which I'm going to move down so people can see later on. But it doesn't have to be the iconography of Medicine Buddha as a blue Buddha, monk's robes, and so forth. It can be the image, the form of what I call the archetypal healer, like like when we think about healers and healing, what is the image that we get? Imagine that appears right in the heart center. It awakens. The healer awakens in your heart center. And once you have a sense of that, of Medicine Buddha, or the healer awakening in the heart center, I want you to imagine that being, that image begins to radiate white light through the body, as if this form of Medicine Buddha in the heart center is like a star radiating this white light of healing throughout the body. And we begin to be filled with this energy, the consciousness, the healing consciousness of Medicine Buddha. I'm gonna move into our main mantra, Tea Town, Bekense, Maha Bekense, Rasa Sumungate Soha, which is there, you know. And the translation like this: I pray for the end of pain and suffering, and the root of pain and suffering. And I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds, that we all may be liberated. You know, so Tea Ta means like this, roughly. And Umbekenze is the first iteration of pain and suffering, the suffering of the world, of people, of beings. And Maha Bekense, the great. So Maha is always great. Mahamudra, Mahasanga, Mahamitra, you know, the great something. So the great pain, you know, which I would translate the great pain meaning like the root, like the very root of pain and suffering, you know. And I release this energy, right? Rasa, like Rasa Sumangate, I release this energy of this prayer out to all the worlds so that we may be liberated. Soha. And Soha, Swaha. In Tibetan we say Soha. Like so, like this, may it be. May whatever I pray for be brought about. So Teata Om Bekense, Maha Bekense, Rasa Sumum Gate, Soha. And as we chant, just allowing this energy in the heart center from this form of medicine Buddha just to radiate throughout the body. All right. Begenze, ma begenze, razasum, gate soha. De adam begenze, ma begenze, razasum, gate soha. De adam begenze, ma begenze, razasum, gate soha. De adam begenze, ma begenze, razasum, gate soha. Eada begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumo gate soa. Eada begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumo gate soa. Eada begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumo gate soa. Teada, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumu gade soa. Teada, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumu gade soa. Teada, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumu gade soa. Teada, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumo gate 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 soa. Teada, Om Beganze, Beganze, Ma Beganze, Lazasumanganze Zoa. 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 Teada, Om Beganze, Beganze, Ma Beganze, Now turning our attention to the prayer requests. So as usual, when we're offering the prayers, just imagine that whatever's being offered, just to send this light, your light, into the lives of those who are being lifted up in prayer. And go ahead, I know everyone's still putting prayers down, so go ahead and do that before I start. All right. So we always begin with calling into the space. If they're not already here, all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Dharma protectors, all the angels, benevolent ancestors, all the elements, including earth, protectors of the land, the elders of the land, the guardians of the land, invite you into the sacred space to hear our prayers and to act on our behalf, to bring about the fruition of our prayers, that ultimately we all may be free from suffering and the roots and causes of suffering. So we offer prayers to all the people who are odd, who don't fit in, think differently, or bang a different drum. May they be comforted in who they are. Prayers for the family of Mani, that they deal with the transition of the mother, wife, and cousin. Prayers for Shirley as she deals with so much, her physical challenges, the illness of her parents. We're offering prayers for Jessica and Crystal as they navigate grief and growth. We're offering prayers, deep prayers and healing for George. Prayers for Mandy. Prayers for school children exposed to violence, criminalization, and law enforcement. May the systems that uphold these practices be liberated of their delusion. Offering prayers for myself as I heal from health issues, burnout, systematic violence. Also for my QT BIPOC friends who are dealing with different challenges. We're offering prayers for the poll workers and voters tomorrow in America to live up to her aspirations for democracy. We're offering prayers for my grief and healing journey, that I may grow in my practice and in my community. Offering prayers for the Humboldt community, Offering prayers of gratitude for this group and for my crone divas. Offer prayers for relief to heal this dense pain and hopelessness in my heart. I pray that all beings may feel loved and supported. Prayers of gratitude to all the ancestors, deities, guides, teachers, and earth-based spirits that are guiding us. Offering prayers for myself as I navigate a liminal space, letting go of old ideas of divinity, letting go of the safety of shame, integrating Excel parts of myself from long ago, Excel parts by person from long ago. I'm offering prayers for my husband as we move out of an old phase and into a new phase of our marriage. We're offering prayers for Chachu as they stay with destabilizing strong feelings and confusion. Offering prayers for my mother's mother wound to be healed and flooded with love. Offering prayers of gratitude for my homecoming circle that the beings who care for me all have all they need to be free and whole. Offering prayers for safe housing and capacity to navigate the uncertain with grace. Offering prayers for my mother Susan as she continues to live with long COVID. Offering prayers for liberation for all of us. Offering prayers for the ability to choose the light in moments that are difficult with my family, my stepson and partner. Offering prayers for everybody actively working on this election cycle. And they know that their work is deeply appreciated regardless of outcome. Offering prayers for all those working for a better climate future. Offering prayers for Lynn, Thomas, and Sarah as they grieve the unexpected loss of their parents. Offering prayers that their earth will have capacity to hold and to heal us. Prayers that we will have capacity to hold and to heal the earth and each other. Offering prayers for calm, clarity, and compassion tomorrow and beyond. Offering prayers that folks will be able to realize their legacy and not be overwhelmed. Offering prayers that I will be able to let go of fear and ego and whatever else is keeping me from stepping into flow and staying in it. Offering prayers for Nancy, who died last week after a long life. Offering prayers for Humpback Whale, whose beautiful body was found in the rocks last week. Offering prayers for Jessica and her children as they live through the loss of their husband and father, Stephen. Offering prayers for healing in my body to open the way so that I may conceive a child. Offering prayers for my grandmother Mina, who joined the ancestors last week. May her transition to the spirit world be without obstacles. Prayers for an easeful service tomorrow. Offering prayers for Annie as she cares for her father who is suffering and in pain from cancer. Offering prayers for Annette and Brad as they continue to recover physically, mentally, and emotionally from surgery and abrupt lifestyle changes. And offering prayers for the new parents in my life, Miranda, Matthew, and David, Elaine, and Dylan, and Megan. Offering prayers for us all to have the strength to walk off the plantation. Offering prayers for my partner, Paul, who is experiencing relentless pain in his body. Prayers that I may be grounded as I show up beside him, amidst feeling scared and tired. Prayers for the biopsies I'm having on Thursday. For presence and inner stability while waiting for information, for deep clarity and a good outcome. Offering prayers for my many friends struggling with health issues and grief. Offering prayers for healing of the deep and very old fractions in this country that have harmed countless beings. Offering prayers for Mimi, who passed away of cancer, and to her family. Offering prayers for my community that they may find healing and joy. Offering healing prayers for Virginia. And I continue to offer prayers for Mike and Sammy and Drew for their well-being, happiness, and joy, and for their families that are connected to them. Offer prayers for Khalil, that he has no obstacles um, as he continues to move into this world. And continue to pray for the liberation of all people from all forms of suffering, from totalitarian regimes to famine to disease, from loss and grief and hopelessness and despair, that we may be liberated from all pain and suffering and the roots of all pain and suffering. May all beings transitioning into the spirit world have no obstacles in their transition. May all beings earthbound without their consent be released. May all disgruntled energy, harmful, vengeful energies that seek to harm us be liberated and deflected. And that all karmic debts that lead to such vengeance be offered and pacified and dissolved. May we choose freedom. May we choose the light. May we one day all achieve enlightenment, if not together, as soon as possible. So as we return back into the mantra, I just, again, just want you to sit in the light, right? Becoming the light, be the light. Offering all the doubt, confusion, worry, anxiety, grief, hopelessness into the light. And let the light work for you. The light being this, of course, the expression of the goodness of the universe, the expression of God, of the Buddhas, of the Mother, of the Father, the expression of the true nature of things, which transcends all duality. Let yourself be taken care of by the light, and let that light radiate out to all of those who depend on us for care. Begenze, ma begenze, razumam gati soa. Deada begenze, begenze, ma begenze, razumam gati soa. Deada begenze, begenze, ma begenze, razumam gati soa. Deada begenze, begenze, ma begenze, razumam gati soa. Deata 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 begenze, begenze, ma begenze, razumam gati soa. Beata, Begenze, Begenze, Ma Begenze, Azuma Ganzua, 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 Beata, Begenze, Ma Begenze, Azuma Ganzua, Beata, Begenze, 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 Ma Begenze, Azuma Ganzua, Beata, Begenze, 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 Begenze, Ma Begenze, Azuma Ganzua. But just letting that light, that radiance of light continue to radiate, like from the heart center, into the body and then radiating out of the body like a star. We will transition into Durga's mantra now, actually. Om Jum Dure Namaha. Om Jum Dure Namaha. And so, using Durga Ma's mantra in this case to kind of settle, to call more the energy of the mother into the practice as we begin to transition out of the practice. So we're just going to begin with Om, chanting Om once, and then going into the mantra. Okay. Om. Om Dum Daya 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 Namaha Om Dum Daya 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 Namaha Om Dum Daya 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 Namaha Om Dum Daya 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 Namaha Om Dum Daya Om Dum Daya Namaha Om Dum Daya Namaha Om Dum Daya Namaha Om Dum Daya Om Dum Daya Namaha Om Daya Om Dum Daya Namaha Om Dum Daya 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 Namaha 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 Om Let me offer a final prayer to the Mother, to the Great Mother, all the expressions of the Mother, from Tara to Kali to Mary Magdalene, to all expressions of the Divine Mother, to all expressions of the Divine Sacred Father as well, and all expressions of divine energy, sacred energy in this universe and in this world system. We pray to you that you remain constant and connected in this world system, in the lives of all of those who are trying to choose and work for the light. We pray that you remind us that we are expressions of the light, no matter what happens now or tomorrow or in the future, anytime, that we always remember who we are, that this world, this experience is a dream, and we've had countless dreams in the past, and we pray that we will one day awaken fully so that we may transcend the cycle of countless dreaming and endless suffering. May ignorance and delusion, everything, be held by the light. May all of our worry and anxiety and fear be offered to the light. And may we continue to be devoted steadfastly to the liberation of everyone, including ourselves, that we all may be free as quickly as possible. So may it be. We turn our attention to Shantideva's prayer, which we will recite 3 times together. May I be a protector to those without protection, and a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as the earth, I always support the life of all the countless beings, and until they all pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. And finally, may I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. Okay, let me just take a look at this question here. Okay, from Sharon, what's the purpose of breathing out of the mouth? Let's see, what's the purpose of breathing out of the mouth instead of in and out of the nose? It creates a cycle of breath. So you're breathing in, well, you're breathing in and up and then out through another channel. And also, because it's pranayama, but it actually, there are different kinds of what do I want to call it? Like, it activates different like parts of the nervous system with that kind of in through the nose, out of the mouth, which lines up with some actually ancient texts around pranayama as well. But for me, like, I feel it as a cycle. I feel like a cycle in the body that like really starts engaging and awakening in my body when I'm breathing in and out of the mouth and the nose. Yeah, parasympathetic nervous system. What is the translation of Om Dum Darya Namaha? What do we say it when we do? Why do we say it when we do? So usually we put the translation up, but it means really Durga is one of the most powerful expressions of the mother. And the mantra is roughly she who is fierce and wrathful to those who are not for the light. And what's the other part of it? Who's like sweet and kind and benevolent to those who choose light, basically. So basically, she's wrathful to those who are causing trouble, and she's kind and benevolent and helpful to those who are trying to help. And that's really the meaning of the mantra there. And why do we say it when we do? We say it at the end. It is from one of the lineages that I practice in Kashi. We chant Durga as a healing mantra. And I think that for me, I use it. I've been using it with Medicine Buddha for a couple of years now. So for me, it's a way to kind of settle energy at the end of practice. And plus, it's a slow, kind of melodic chant that I find really grounding as well. But it's a powerful energy to Durga Ma. It's a very powerful energy that we call into the practice, right? Another, powerful energy, a frequency of energy, which can be, quite potent, as well. Okay, so great, everyone. So it was great, everyone, and oh yeah, so I won't be here the next 2 weeks. So I will be back in the UK the end of the week. So I'll see you in 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. It's like, okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Please continue to practice and to pray, to trust the light, to choose the light. Actually, every morning you wake up, I want your first thought to be of the light. And as my teacher would say, whatever happens, happens. Whatever comes, comes. I don't need anything at all, right? So let's hold that. Whatever happens, make a vow to deal with it. Whatever shows up, I'm going to deal with it, right? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, if you have friends in the UK, tell them to come out to the retreat on November 20th as well. Some of you may be in the UK right now, and hooray for staying up so late to catch this. So thank you, everyone, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Okay, bye.